Kirill leaned forward. His interest piqued at the way Irina's cheeks had flushed, as if she'd stopped herself on the cusp of a revelation.
"Do go on,"
he said smoothly.
"You have seen for yourself what?"
He smiled.
"Are you a lady of my court, Irina? Should I call you Lady Irina?"
The woman glared at him with a look so black Kirill thought the moon itself would drown in darkness.
"If you want my help, you will cap the tithes. Let the people keep enough money to prosper."
"Well, I suppose it does behoove me to have a prosperous people."
Kirill stepped closer, reaching out to trail a hand through one lock of ebony hair. Her heart sped up, pumping blood ever faster through her veins. The sound echoed in his ears, weaving through his senses and coaxing his fangs to slide from their sheaths. His hunger reared its head, demanding to be satisfied. Now. Ever so slowly, Kirill raised a hand to her chin, tilting her head so that he could better stare down into her eyes. A little press of power, a minor flexing of his vampiric muscles, and she would soften toward him. He would hypnotize her, just enough so he could feed and she wouldn't remember. The connection would make it easier for him to affect her later if necessary, and it was starting to seem as though there would be a later. Irina leaned forward at the last second and pressed her lips to his. Velvety soft flesh caressed his mouth, warm breath coasting over his lips. Kirill stiffened, momentarily shocked into inaction by her initiative. Her eyes drifted closed and her lips slid against his own, an achingly seductive sensation that drew an appreciative sound from his throat. She tasted like the winter air, fresh and crisp, with just a hint of bite. He parted his lips for her, encouraging her to deepen the kiss. Her tongue slid past his lips, and he pressed forward, eager for the inevitable moment when she learned the risk of kissing a vampire with his fangs extended. A sharp pain pricked the inside of his thigh. Kirill froze. Irina pulled back just enough to speak, her lips still close enough to brush his with every syllable.
"Biting me would be a mistake," she said softly. "I've come here with nothing but the best of intentions. It would be awfully ungentlemanly of you to take advantage of me."
Kirill almost laughed. He ran a hand over her hip, up her back, until he cupped her neck.
"I could kill you with very little effort."
He lightly pressed his fingers against her neck. Despite the threat of his words, he couldn't resist leaning forward slightly, letting his lips brush hers in a chaste kiss, even as they stood in their stalemate. He couldn't deny that part of him was excited in a way he rarely was. Irina was bold, almost to the point of foolishness, but her spirit added a spice to their encounter that Kirill appreciated on an instinctual level. Now that he'd tasted her, he found he wanted a little more. How sweet would her blood be? How delightfully wild!
"I have a dagger ready to sever your manhood."
Her voice only wavered slightly, and his respect for her ratcheted up a notch. She pulled her face back, seeming to gather herself. He didn't miss the glazed look in her eyes, and the sight only sharpened his hunger.
"I am a vampire,"
he reminded her, his voice rough with hunger and arousal.
"As strategically placed as it is, your dagger won't kill me."
"Oh, but won't you wish it had?"